Hello, welcome back to Election Time News, your one-stop political summations, poll reviews, nonpartisan predictions, interviews, and compilations on all the political forecasters. Today is Friday, November 1st, 2024. It is so close to the election, and today I'll be doing an entire election night simulation based on my odds in my sheet. That will be presidential and Senate. I don't do House races, and there's just so few gubernatorial races, I don't think it's really worth it. I'm going to try to do some margin just based on how close it is to these numbers. If you like content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Do me a favor and click on that bright red button below. Also, make sure to join the Discord. There's tons of election-related stuff on there. You'll be sure to enjoy it. The link is in the description and is linked on my YouTube homepage. Now, onto the video. How this works is I have odds for every single state. And just for fun, just for an upset, I'm going to treat every single 100% as a 99% for both sides. And so what I do is I take a random number generator, and I'll be doing that off screen just so that I can run it a bit faster. And what I'm going to do is it's going to pick a random number from 1 to 1,000 that will correspond to one number here. And if it is higher than the chances that the leader has of winning a state, for example, in Arizona, if the number was 567, then there would be an upset and Kamala Harris would win. However, if it was 512, Donald Trump would win, as it is less than 550. You'll see. So we'll be going in poll closing time order. So to start things off, we're going to have the state of Indiana at the 7 p.m. poll closing time. 679 is our number, and it is 1,000. It's going to be 990. I'm going to do 999. So it's 999, which means that only a 1,000 would have an upset. So it's not exactly impossible, but very, very unlikely. So 679 is less than that number, which means that Donald Trump would hold the state of Indiana by quite a considerable bit. Next, we're going to do the state of Kentucky, where we have a 671. Same thing there. It's going to be 999. The next number is going to be a 71. So that's not even going to be close at all. That's going to be Vermont for Kamala Harris. And then we're going to do the state of Virginia. Virginia is going to be 984. Virginia is going to be 999, so that's going to be relatively close. Considering it's within 10, I'm going to have that be lean. Anything less than 10 is going to be tilt. Oh, wait, 984, 999. So less than 10 is going to be tilt. 10 to 25 lean. 25 to 50 likely. 50 to 100, and then more than 100. So that's how I'm going to do this. All right. 654 for the state of South Carolina. That's not even close. That's going to be a safe Trump state. And then finally, the state of Georgia is going to be 749. I think that is an upset. That is, in fact, an upset. That's going to be well over. That's going to be a safe Democrat state. So already things are looking pretty goofy here from this. 535. So, all right, we have the Senate races first. So Indiana is going to be 535 for the Senate. 999, that's not going to be enough. So Republicans are going to hold it safe. And then we have Virginia. Tim Kaine, is he going to hold into a seat? 590, that is a yes. Vermont, is Bernie Sanders going to hold into a seat? 932, so that is within 100, which means that it will only be certain, but he will absolutely hold on to his seat in Vermont. And that is all of them for that poll closing time. So next is going to be the 7:30 p.m. poll closing time. It's going to be Ohio and North Carolina. Start off with Ohio. We have 868. Down here we have, that's the Senate. That would explain why it's blue. 975. So that is just barely not within 100. So that's going to be a safe red state. And for North Carolina, it's going to be 978, which is going to be an upset. Kamala Harris will have a safe Ohio. So this is already looking ridiculous. This is basically a blue wave scenario. And I absolutely do not see this happening on election night. But it also doesn't make sense is that Ohio is somehow safe. So then we're also going to have the Ohio Senate election here, 281. That means that it will be an absolute safe race for Brown, as he has 525 as the number right now. All right, next is going to be the 9 p.m. poll closing time. We're going to start with the state of Maine, Maine's 1st Congressional District, not even close, 273. The 2nd Congressional District, 278. 682, not that close. That's going to be for Kamala Harris. 603 for New Hampshire. 681 for Massachusetts. Rhode Island is going to be 80. 753 for Connecticut. 432 for New Jersey. 881 for Delaware. 746 for Maryland. 849 for DC. So none of those are all that close. Next, going to be the state of Pennsylvania. This is a key swing state, and I currently have it going a little bit to Kamala Harris by the slightest bit, just because of the early vote data. Is looking a bit like 2020, but it could absolutely pivot to a pure toss-up at any moment, basically. So looking here, it's going to be a 394, which means it will be safe Kamala Harris state. So this is ridiculous. I mean, this is a huge blowout from what we've seen, but I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up with another huge upset later on. Then we're going to have 56. That's going to be safe for West Virginia. Then moving on, it's going to be Illinois. That's going to be 993. So 999 being the number to beat, 1 to 1,000, that means that this is going to be within 10. So it's going to be a tilt blue state for Illinois. All right, next is going to be 227. That's going to be a safe state in Tennessee. Then we have 275 for Alabama. 158 for Mississippi. Missouri is going to be 907, so that's going to be within 100. And then 174 Oklahoma. And then finally for Florida, we have 935. 935. That's going to be within 25, so that's going to be likely. Okay. So no flips as of yet from anything shocking, but we've had some really weird margins going on here. Next, for the Senate, there is quite a bit here. Maine, 848. 367, 136, 105, 369, 749, 354, 951. That's going to be an upset in the state of Pennsylvania. That means that Dave McCormick will win the state of Pennsylvania. 951, that's not even by that, that's not even that close. That's a solid pickup for the Republicans. These maps are already looking ridiculous. 732 is going to be safe in West Virginia. In Tennessee, 868. 130 in Mississippi. 629 in Missouri. And now for Florida, 445. So, at this point already, Republicans have basically guaranteed themselves a majority in the Senate. They're only one short, and they have quite a few seats that are likely for them at this point as well. So, just based on this map and how things are going to go, most likely they have already guaranteed themselves a strong majority, but of course upsets are still possible. Moving on, 830 is just the state of Arkansas, and we have 202, so that is going to go red. 695. Now, if anyone's curious on my odds, you can check out my sheet in the comments. It's going to potentially change before election night, so it's not going to be 100% accurate, but I'm trying to quickly just pause any of these moments, and you can look over any of these odds. I'll show it real quick. So there's the Senate, and then for president. So next is going to be 9 p.m. starting with New York. This is going to be 95. So New York, it was 999, the number to beat. So that is going to be a safe Democratic state when we get back over there in a minute. All right, so safe Democratic New York. Then we're going to go to Michigan. Michigan's going to be 602. That is going to be, not an upset. That's going to be what? 62.5, 20. That's going to be within 20. So that's going to be lean. 233 for Wisconsin. Safe. This makes no sense at all. 125 for Minnesota. For Iowa, 511. For North Dakota, 474. 26 for South Dakota. 366 for third. For first, it's going to be 727. Oop, no. First district, 32. Statewide, 871. Kansas, 243. Louisiana, 437. Wyoming, 561. Texas is going to be 229. Safe Texas. Colorado's going to be 838. New Mexico 744. And Arizona 971. I believe that is another upset. This is going to be a full swing state capture. Yeah, that's not even going to be close. What on earth is going on here? All right. So then for the Senate, we have New York, 666. That's going to be safe Democrat. Michigan, 954. I think that's an upset in Michigan. That is, in fact, an upset by over 100. So that is going to be a solid red state. 278 in Wisconsin, however. And then moving over to Minnesota, that's going to be 804, so that is going to still be blue. North Dakota is going to be 306. Nebraska's special is going to be 130. Nebraska's main is going to be 905. So that is going to be an upset. That's going to be the independent Dan Osborne. So I'm actually going to have to... Just because he does not caucus with either one, I can't justify putting... Wait, I should have just... There we go. I can't justify putting him in as either color just because he said before that he will not go with either party, so. But he will win Nebraska, which might actually stop a majority. Now, at this point, I think that's basically secured, just because Wyoming and Utah are basically safe, and there's a strong chance in Texas, even if they somehow lose Montana, they're probably going to win either Montana or Texas at this point, just because based on odds and statistics. But anyway, 105, that's going to be a safe race for Osborne, which is not happening. Then we're going to move on, and next is going to be Texas. 242, that's going to be safe. 972 in Wyoming, that's going to be within 25. $524 in New Mexico. Arizona is going to be 234. So there's those. This is looking absolutely ridiculous and implausible. But moving on next, we're going to have Montana for the presidential election. 126, not even close. 612 in Utah. And then Nevada is going to be 410. If I'm correct, Nevada is like 525, so 410 is, yes, over 100. Okay, so a full sweep of the swing states by Kamala Harris, which means that she will have to lose California. If it's still, California is larger than all of the swing states, so if Trump can get a 1,000 on California, then he will still win. Moving on to the Senate election, we have Montana 635. Nope, that is still going to be red. So the Republicans will gain control of the Senate in this simulation based on these odds from a random number generator. You heard it first. So, but 635, that's gonna be over 100. So it's gonna be safe. Utah is gonna be 437. Nevada is going to be 365. So now, lastly, these last four states on the West Coast. Let's do Idaho first, going east to west. 341. Then we have Washington's going to be 942. So that's going to be within 100. So that's going to be likely. Then we have Oregon, and now it comes down to this. 89 for California. That is going to be a blue state. So 315 to 216, and most likely those two are going to be safe at this point, but those are still the next poll closing time. And for the Senate, we have 562 for Washington and 69 for California. And then lastly, we just have Hawaii. We're going to have 737 and 115 for Alaska. And then for Hawaii over here, we have 725. So this is the end result for both of these. They are literally preposterous, and they are not going to show up this way on election night. There's no way that Kamala Harris is going to sweep all the swing states And even if she somehow did, Michigan would not be the weakest. There's no way that Trump's going to do that well in Illinois, especially if there's going to be a sweep of the swing states like this. None of these make it really any sense. It's funny to look at. I might want to change my margins, though, for the numbers, because apparently it shows a lot of really far ones, and it's a lot of safe ones, and it looks boring. But this is the end result out of this first run. We're going to clear it and run through it again, just to see if the second run looks any different. It almost definitely will. But here we go again. Starting off in Indiana for the presidential, we have 959, so that's going to be within 100, so that's going to be 959, that's within 50, so that's going to be likely 586, that is not within anything. Vermont is going to be safe. 927 in Virginia, that's going to be within 100. There we go. Within 100. South Carolina, 233, nowhere even close. And Georgia's going to be 494. That's definitely going for Trump, but I forget by how much. 600, so that's going to be by over 100, so that's going to be safe. Senate elections, we have Indiana, that's going to be 969, so that's going to be within 30, so that's going to be within, not within 25. Okay. Then 243. So that's going to be safe for Sanders. And then 33 in Virginia, safe there. So start things off, we have a strong showing for Donald Trump minus, Indiana. Then moving on, we're going to have the 7:30 p.m. poll closings. Ohio is going to be safe for Donald Trump, 583. And North Carolina is going to be 540. That's going to be not safe, but it's going to be for Trump. 575, that's going to be 35. So within 50. Okay. Then we have 443 over here. So that is going to be safe for Brown in the Senate election. Next is going to be 8 p.m. We have Maine, which is going to be 641 for the first district. Second district, 328. Statewide, 689. Then we have 491 for New Hampshire. 585 for Massachusetts. 513 for Rhode Island. 399 for Connecticut. 252 for New Jersey. 437 for Delaware. 879 for Maryland. 381 for D.C. Pennsylvania is 349. That's a safe blue state. Then we have 696 for West Virginia. Tennessee is going to be 569. Alabama, 234. 743 for Mississippi. Florida is going to be 705. Pretty sure it's 900 something, right? 900? Yep, 950. Illinois is going to be 410, Missouri 49, and then Oklahoma is going to be 198. So here's the results as far as the presidential map goes. Then we have King winning 195. Then we have Massachusetts 87, 738 in Rhode Island, 67 in Connecticut, 651 in New Jersey, 627 in Delaware, 280 in Maryland. West Virginia, 145. Pennsylvania is 536. Now, I think it's relatively close here. 530, not close enough, though. 536 is going to be not even within 100, so it's going to be a safe blue race here. 590 in Tennessee. In Florida, 469. Mississippi, 970. That's within 50. Missouri, 381. So already this is again looking ridiculous with a really relatively close election in Mississippi where there's been literally no polling to indicate that whatsoever. And, of course, a really strong showing in Georgia and a weak one in Indiana for Donald Trump on the presidential level. So moving on now, 9 p.m., starting with New York, 377. 928 in Michigan. That's a safe Trump state. 517. That is going to just barely go Harris. That's the wrong one. Oh, stop it. No, that's not what I said to do. 525, 517, yes. So that is going to literally be tilt for Harris. Then we have 425 for Minnesota, 671 for North Dakota, 895 for South Dakota, 265 for Wyoming, 631, 336, 327, 860. 860 for Nebraska 2nd District. 950, that's going to be within 100, but nothing closer. Then we have Iowa. It's going to be 837. That's I think I have it up to 975, so that's not even going to be within 100. 234 for Kansas. Colorado is going to be 562. New Mexico. No, wait, going from that side. Oh, I forgot about Arkansas. 285. Let's just put that in Arkansas. 950 for Louisiana. That's going to be within 50. Then Texas is going to be 856. That's going to be within 100. Yes, just barely within 100. Then here we have 28 for New Mexico, and Arizona is going to be 980, which is going to be an upset. That is going to be blue. So this is looking absolutely ridiculous with a solid red Maine, yet you end up with, solid blue Pennsylvania, solid blue Arizona. This is looking even more ridiculous than the last one, honestly. New York, 67. Michigan, 100. Wisconsin, 99. 789 in Minnesota. Yeah, I didn't think it was that close. 115 in North Dakota. Wyoming's going to be 354. Nebraska Special, 483. Nebraska Statewide, 486. So that time, safe Republican, I believe. 16 in Texas. That is a safe red. Right there, 170 in New Mexico, and then Arizona lastly is going to be 317. So, currently Trump is in the lead 249 to 188. Not truly in the lead yet, but I think he actually lost the election. I think. Nope. Unless Harris can pull an upset, Trump won. So, I cannot do mental math right now, apparently. That's what's going on. Alright, moving on. Next is going to be the 10 p.m. poll closings. Montana is going to be 220. Then we have Utah, which is going to be 291. And Nevada is going to be 892. That's going to be an upset, and that's going to be a safe red state. So, yep, it's basically over for Harris. And Montana, we have 779. That's actually going to be an upset, I believe. Nope. That's going to be within 100, though. Utah, 583. Nevada is going to be 435. So, now, looks like that the Republicans are going to win the presidential election, and the Democrats are also going to lose they also have lost the Senate majority. So this is a pretty good scenario for the Republicans. Somewhat obviously, if you can see. But lastly, we're going to have Idaho, which is going to be 793. We have Washington, 851. 651 for Oregon, 335 for California. Then we have Washington's going to be 434. California is going to be 650. And now the last two states, Alaska is going to be 726. And Hawaii is going to be 615. So Trump wins 272 to 266. And this would be quite a surprise on election night, to say the least. And now looking at the Senate map in Hawaii, 575, that will go to the Democrats. So we have just run through two simulations, and they are both equally ridiculous. So, again, these are not my predictions. My final prediction is coming out literally on the morning of election night, so make sure to subscribe so you do not miss that. Also, make sure to check out my other videos that I came out with as of recently. And thank you all for watching, as always, and have a fabulous rest of your day. It's how much longer till the first results come in from as I'm recording this. Have a fabulous rest of your day, and I will see you all tomorrow.